Everyone. I just want to thank you for taking the time to come to my presentation, or a good afternoon, depending on what time of day you are tuning into this recording. So today I'm going to talk to you and introduce you to my brand, and I'm going to take you through step by step my brand guidelines. First of all, I just want to talk a little bit about my target market and the influences behind my personal branding. So first of all, my target market is targeting charities, NGOs, or anyone looking for professional branding, layout, print publications, book layouts, cover illustrations, infographics, and information design and awareness campaigns. I've established myself with a more formal corporate identity so that whoever it is that I'm approaching for work or approaches me knows that they can trust me. And at the end of the day, trustworthiness is number one, is the number one part of my brand. So my brand archetype after doing some research would be the sage. So Mona Clements Design believes in truth in design and strives to maintain integrity, with every interaction becoming a source of guidance to help consumers feel more informed to make better decisions. And some examples of the sage brand archetype are TED Talks and Oprah Winfrey. So I'm just going to dive into my presentation now. So as you can see, this is my logo. Pardon me, sorry. I'm just going to make some adjustments. Sorry about that. So my brand guidelines, I'll take you through the table of contents. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself as a designer and my brand. I'm going to get into my MVV statement. We're going to take a look at the typography, my color choices, my logo design, and of course unauthorized logo usage, approved images for my website and my branding, and some mock-ups. So Mona Clements Design. So welcome, my name is Mona, and I'm a vibrant graphic designer and artist, bringing a sophisticated eye to professional branding. I'm currently a second-year honors student in the Bachelor of Design program at Conestoga College in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And I am incredibly passionate about design and bring to projects a dedication and commitment to quality work. I have professional experience working with executives in IT, commercial sales, and non-for-profit sectors. My graphic design strengths include digital illustration, photography, and a love for typography and dynamic design layout. I believe color is meant to enhance a design and should be used strategically. My skill set includes Adobe Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and After Effects, with my work being nominated for multiple design awards by my faculty here at Conestoga. Outside of graphics, I'm also a skilled illustrator and painter, and my favorite medium would be watercolor. I am from southwestern Ontario, but time spent living in Montreal and Ottawa, Canada have provided me with a unique cultural experience which I believe enhances my design perspective and style today. And my tagline is design, develop, and create. As you can see, my brand guidelines are layered in a spread, and there's consistency throughout, which plays to my brand. I have a black and white aesthetic, and again, that's to target corporate clients, to provide an element of trust, professionalism, which I want to bring to the table going to my career. So my mission, vision, and values. So my mission at Mona Clements Design strives to delight her clients with her creative knowledge and services, to understand the needs of the client, and to work with them to achieve the best design approach for every project through research, iterative design, and striving to understand the needs of the client to create the best creative outcome. My vision is to gain and maintain a professional reputation that is trustworthy, reliable, and understanding for my clients, their needs, and their desired outcomes, to become a creative director in a senior level design position, inspiring others in the future. And my values are integrity, trustworthiness, and I'm enthusiastic and positive, supportive and passionate, and I'm accountable and I'm reliable. So for my typography, I wanted to start with a quote by Paul Rand, which is, "Typography is an art, but good typography is art." So my primary typography is Dunbar Low Light. Dunbar Low Light is a beautiful and contemporary sans serif typeface that has been selected to represent the branding for Mona Clements Design. The words the Mona Clements word mark will always be written using Dunbar Light in all caps, and this is to ensure that the branding is consistent across all platforms and creates an elegant and sophisticated branding aesthetic. Dunbar Low will also be used as title font, numbers, and only ever in all caps. My secondary typography includes Nexa Light and Amalfi Coast. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. So Nexa Light Regular is a clean sans serif text that complements Dunbar Low. Nexa Light is used for all of the body text for Mona Clements design branding, excluding numbers, which is Dunbar Low. Amelia Coast is a beautiful hand script font that adds a casual elegance to the branding, and it will be used strategically for headings, Mona Clements design, and for numbers. So my color palette. So Mona Clements design strives for clean and consistent branding. 2 primary colors are used and 2 secondary color palettes have been provided for flexible design to enhance and complement each piece. The primary logo colors are black and navy blue. These colors are chosen to express professionalism, reliability, and dependability, and are meant to complement her graphic design work and photography. The secondary colors are gray and pink, a very light pink, it's subtle. The 2 secondary colors may not be used together when this palette is chosen to complement Mona Clements designs traditional watercolor paintings and her softer design aesthetic. So just another example of my primary and secondary colors for my personal branding. And my primary logo. So as you can see, my primary logo is a cursive M, which I have manipulated in Adobe Illustrator to add a little bit of personal touch to it and make it a little bit more unique than the standard typeface, which is Amalfi Coast. So clear space is really important, so I have distinguished that here. So it's important to have an adequate amount of clear space, which is provided around each logo application, and the minimum standard for my branding is about half the size of the logo's height. So the example that I've provided is a 1/2 inch space. So whenever possible, more clear space would be ideal. However, that is the minimum, half the size or height of the logo. So there are 2 primary logos and 2 primary logo colors. These examples the examples that I'm going to provide are approved logos, colors, and application format. The logo may be used on its own, excluding the word mark, or paired with the word mark to make a complete logo. All of the examples provided are the approved logo variations and applications. The logo may also be used in white without the addition of any color, and may also be used in black without the addition of any color, one place on an appropriately colored background that provides adequate contrast. The M in the logo may be used on its own outside of the confinements of the square in one of the 4 approved colors, and as well in white. So you can see here the different variations. So I have my name stacked underneath the logo. I also have it placed to the right for variation, and also I've provided examples of the logo being a little bit smaller and the word mark extending past the confinement of the square box. As well, I've shown examples of the M just being used on its own in application, which I've done throughout some of my branding on my website. The logo itself is just, obviously the M represents Mona, and I wanted to add a personal touch, so that's why I've used the first letter of my name, but I liked the cursive letter and the swoop to it. It looks like an organic line, so depending on how you're viewing it, it can appear to be an M or just an illustrative swoop, so I liked that artistic appeal that it had. So of course, there are some unauthorized usages of the logo because consistency is key. So to ensure the branding and design aesthetic for Mona Clements design stays consistent, guidelines for unapproved logo applications have been provided, and the following examples are prohibited from use. So as you can see, example 1, the word mark may not be written in a color different from the logo. Example 2, using lowercase letters in the logo is absolutely prohibited. 3, the only approved typography for the word mark is Dunbar Low Light. 4, the word mark cannot be placed on the left side of the logo. 5, no additional words may be written under the logo. 6, the logo cannot be placed on a diagonal. Number 7, patterns cannot be applied to the logo. 8, the word mark cannot appear larger than the logo. 9, the outline in an alternative color cannot be applied to the logo. No outlines at all, actually. 10, the word mark cannot be placed lower than the logo. 10, only approved colors can be used. And 12, effects such as cast shadows cannot be applied to the logo. So for approved images and mockups, it's important to me to keep my branding consistent. So any photography of myself will be in black and white to maintain consistency and also a professional aesthetic. Because like I said, I want to, my brand strives for trustworthiness, professionalism. So I'm trying to display that through the personal images of myself. And here's just a few mock-ups. So I've provided mock-ups of my business cards if I'm networking or I'm at an event. As you can see, the back of the card just has the swoop of the M, and the front of the card says Mona Clements, graphic design and illustration, and provides my contact information. I've used the black and white color palette, which is the primary palette, again, just to display trustworthiness, professionalism, and that's the look I'm going for. And I've also provided some mock-ups of my website desktop. So, or this is what you see when you enter. As you can see, I've placed the letters extending past the logo, which is an approved application. The backdrop is very white, very clean. You enter, you see my logo, you see my name and my design portfolio. As well, I've provided examples of what this would look like on the website, as well in social media applications. So you can see for my social media, I've used my logo for my profile picture and just Mona Clements design, and I've used my logo in 2 different applications for the homepage of my website when you go to the mobile version of the web page. Having a white background was really important to me, and you can see that that's used throughout my brand guidelines, and that's strategic and plays into my personal branding. So whenever possible, a white backdrop to display my work, well, no, not whenever possible, a white backdrop to display my work is the standard. And again, that's so that the work can speak for itself. I want it to look clean and professionally laid out, and I feel like this application provides that to potential clients. So that's it for my brand guidelines. So now I'm just going to show you a motion graphic I've created, and I've designed it around actually my business card. So it's essentially like my business card coming to life, and I'll explain it in a moment after I press play. So as you can see, it starts with the cursive M. It swoops in with the same dimensions and layout as my business card with a white backdrop, fades out to black, and then Mona Clements graphic design and illustration appears. I chose this just to play off of the logo. I wanted to make sure it was in there, as well as the word mark. I've used appropriate typography and placement based on my brand guidelines, and I believe that this helps demonstrate my professionalism and trustworthiness. And finally, I just want to show you what my brand guidelines would actually look like in application, just to get a better idea of the aesthetic that I'm trying to communicate and produce. So as you can see, it's just in a clean book, and it just kind of take you through the design, and it speaks to the branding, clean, professional, typography. And I think this just helps communicate my branding. Seeing an application, I think helps communicate what I'm trying to achieve in a clear form. And that's everything. So I just want to thank everybody for taking some time to learn a little bit about myself, my brand, what I'm striving to achieve in the future, and as a designer right now, as a student. I hope wherever you are, you have a happy and healthy summer. And again, thank you so much for tuning into my presentation and taking a little bit of time to get to know me. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.